J is for Justice podcast.
Roberta.
Hey everyone, welcome back to J is for Justice. I am your host, Jay. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. And if you like what you see in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. In this video, we are going to be going over footprints left at a crime scene, latent footprints, and what you can get from a footprint besides just a type of shoe and a size. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this information and what you think they could possibly recover from the Idaho murder scene.
And pull up on him real quick.
I gotta get his.
Hey, my boy, we had a quick question. No disrespect. Hey, what size shoe you wear, fam? What size shoe you wear? Oh, damn, you 21 Savage for real, huh? You the big ticket, huh?
Okay, time to get serious. The first thing we're going to learn is what is a latent print and how are they collected?
There are latent. These are invisible to the naked eye. They normally need to be lifted with electrostatic dust lifters using oblique lighting or a gel lifter. You also need to get images of these in order to be processed and analysed. So lifting latent shoe prints are similar to latent fingerprints. They can be dusted with dusting powder and photographed and then lifted with an adhesive tape.
The next thing we're going to learn about, what can the size of the shoe tell us besides the size of the shoe? Get your heads out of the gutter.
Society, I think, Scott, those impressions of footwear impressions, of what we can do from Sherlock Holmes in novels, and that their gait, how they walk. The depth of a foot in soil depends on the density of the soil, much more than the weight of the person. Most I can say with the footprint is if I've got the entire impression, I can estimate a height of the person, but that's just an estimate. It's a good investigative tool. I'm not going to go to court and say, he's guilty because he's 6'2" and the footprint is, a size 12.5.
Now, we don't know the size of the latent shoe print that was found at 1122 King Road. But do we think that they estimated a height on the perpetrator based on this shoe print?
Where impression evidence is, it can help eliminate suspects. And we want to find that out at the beginning of the investigation. We don't want to drag somebody through an entire investigation. If I can tell them right from the get-go, and I have many times, no, that's not your suspect. This is the shoe you're looking for, not that person.
Were any suspects eliminated by the shoe print? Is that why they were able to eliminate people so quickly? But wait, there's more.
But the other type of characteristics we're looking for are the accidental characteristics. These randomly acquired cuts and nicks occur on the bottom of the shoe as you're walking around. And it's those accidental characteristics that make that shoe unique, to say, yes, that shoe made that crime scene impression.
If there's a shoe to match it to, right?
That person. There are other things that I can see at the crime scene. You can see from the impressions themselves who's gone where, who's doing what. You have a homicide scene where a person's bludgeoned to death. In this case, there was sock impressions that had a slight bit of blood on the bottom, and he's walking throughout the house. I look at the floor, nice clean hardwood floor. I spray the floor with a chemical that enhances the blood impressions. You can see that where the person's gone to get the scissors and a hammer and pages from a Bible. You can see the movement within the apartment. The footwear impressions are able to give you a visual of what actually occurred at the time. That evidence can be extremely damning, especially when you have the cuts and nicks on the bottom of the shoe. I can say without a doubt that that is the shoe that made it.
Let's dive a little bit deeper. Why are footwear impressions often overlooked? There are two important reasons. Lack of training and education in the proper teaching, collection, and preservation of the evidence, and evidence is undervalued or not understood. The failure to properly collect this type of evidence revolves around the above-mentioned two reasons, but also the lack of success in finding this evidence is often due to A, not believing that the impressions can be found at the scene after people have walked over the scene, B, incomplete searches of the crime scene, C, weather conditions, and D, the impression has been intentionally destroyed. So in the Idaho 4 case, we know that it wasn't found on the first sweep of the house. This Latent footprint was found on the second sweep of that house. Protection of the scene. The first officer at the crime scene should assess an attempt to determine the entire area of the crime scene, including paths of entry and exit, and any areas that may include evidence that a suspect was present. Once this has been done, the area of the crime scene should be completely secured and evidence marked for later documentation and collection. Unfortunately, footwear evidence is easily eradicated by weather or people and vehicles approaching the scene from the same direction or of entry or escape the suspect might have taken. Isolation of the area is crucial to avoid analyzing recently made footwear impressions that are not related to the crime scene. There are many ways to secure footwear evidence in and around the crime scene. Once the area is secured and the crime scene is established, the officer on scene should make sure the entire scene is marked off using crime scene barricade tape, and no one should be permitted to enter until the crime scene investigator responds. In some cases where weather might have an effect on footwear evidence, the first officer may place boxes, cones, etc. over the impressions until the crime scene investigator arrives. Remember, do not alter the evidence prior to any photographs. Knowing this information makes me really anxious for the evidence to come out in trial. Learning how they are supposed to handle evidence and knowing that this crime scene was contaminated before the investigation even began is maddening. Knowing that probably every student there owns or owned a pair of Vans shoes at one point. So this is all very vague and very confusing. And unfortunately, none of this will make sense until we get more information from the prosecution. And the last statement that I want to touch on is, if a thorough crime scene report is prepared, the crime scene investigator can describe the steps of the investigation chronologically. Remember, reports and notes are subject to a subpoena during a trial. To sum it up and leave you guys with a question that I would like you to answer in the comments below. Do you think that these prints could have been latent due to the fact that somebody cleaned the scene, cleaned the floor, or tried to do some type of cleaning? Or do you think that that would make the footprint go away? Would it be not pronounced anymore? What do you think of that? Do you think that they would still get a footprint if the floor had been cleaned? That's one part I'm not sure of. I'm not a crime scene investigator, so let me know your thoughts. If you are a professional, please do fill us in. Hopefully, since Moscow police was the first on the scene, they took extensive notes. Thank you for watching and stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.